Where's our agenda?
Live! Welcome to What the Friday! Oh no!
Boo.
Do you want me to turn it off? Do you have it? Do we turn it off?
I'm good. No,
Are
we're
you good?
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What the Friday, the father-daughter game show where we earn points, even though the points don't matter, for candor and humility as we flesh out whatever topic floats to the top. Insert.
Like an ice, like an olive in a martini.
Do olives float? I really doubt myself. Do they float?
Oh, I don't know.
I know ice
Maybe.
does. I finally learned that lesson.
I think olives do float.
Okay, I'll believe you because last time I doubted you, I was very much wrong and an idiot. So we'll avoid that this time.
That was just a brain fart, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
We don't have to relive it though.
It was
because it would create anxiety.
Yes, nice segue. King of segues here with us today. Now, okay, so I am talking to a lot of people. Okay, at the beginning of relationships, or like you're dating somebody, I get very anxious instead of excited. It's the worst. I hate the beginning. And I only have beginnings. This may be why I'm so averse to being in relationships that suck. And I put a poll up on my Instagram, like at the beginning of relationships, do you get more anxious or more excited? And it keeps fluctuating, but I'm getting more anxiety responses than excitement responses.
How do you mean?
No, not anymore. Now it's 55% excitement. 45% anxiety.
Oh, this is on your Instagram poll?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of an odd mix.
It is an odd mix. It's just like...
Why the anxiety? Is it self-doubt? Why do you think people tend to have anxiety, period?
In general. Great question. Right? Like that's the root of it all. Where is it coming from? I do think self-doubt's part of it. I mean, it's a version of fear, right? So you're scared of a lot of things. You're simultaneously scared that you're not good enough, and also scared that you're making a bad choice by choosing whatever action you're moving forward with. It's just a lot of, and it's vulnerable, right? Like romantic relationships are so uniquely vulnerable if you're actually trying to build something, not a fling, like you're trying to build something with it. It's such a vulnerable position to be in. And I think it's terrifying because you're like, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think? You just said, is it self-doubts? Is that your theory? That we're all of us little anxious little birds are just doubting ourselves?
I don't know. Maybe it's not maybe it is self-doubt. Wondering whether things are a good fit, wondering if this is really what you want. Maybe you're biting off more than you can chew. Maybe there's a sense of self-doubt in your own perspective because the decisions you make in your perspective in one mood is different than it is in another mood, and we all have moods. And then you have what
you're
they
like
call
so confident one moment, and then you're like, "What the heck am I doing?" the next.
Yeah, I think that's where the term, when you talk about I always say it, permanent reminders of temporary emotions.
Yeah.
And you worry, is this something that I'm going to be worried that I'm going to screw up on, or I'm getting into something that I don't want to get into? And you have relationships, whether they're friendships or boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, working relationships, client relationships. I
don't have anxiety with.
Is this going to change?
I don't have social anxiety, which I'm very happy and I'm lucky in that regard. I think I definitely did when I was little, but then I overcame it with pure force of will. And I guess I just don't have the practice in the relationship world to plow through that. Because the thing I was asking myself about this was like, what am I so afraid of? What am I afraid of? And that's where I started. So I that's the thing I was writing today. My nails I need help. I was writing, and I wrote this little post about I think what I was afraid of, and what I'm afraid of in romantic relationships, is not being perfect. Because what I thought was a successful relationship, which I didn't realize until recently, I thought it was, I'm perfect. I'm the perfect person for you, and you're the perfect person for me. And it's never ending. And I was like, that's not even possible. I can't live up to that? I'm dying by the pressure of this. And then I'm dating somebody now, and he's really into love languages. And we started talking about love languages. And then I listened to a podcast about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, because there was this comment about, you would think that if we have different love languages, do you know love languages?
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
I know of them.
So there are 5 major ones. And let's say your primary love language is gifts, and my primary love language is words of affirmation. Then you might think that you are a really bad match. But really, if you look at the purpose of relationships being to learn how to love better and to become better people, then being with somebody who has a different love language than you is such a gift, because you're teaching each other how to love people that are different from you. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense, or am I rambling?
That makes sense, and you are rambling.
Okay, well, interrupt me.
Just kidding.
I mean, that's my mode of
too
operation.
easy an entry to not really everybody's just trembling.
I take it. I'll take it. I appreciate the jibe. So yeah, so that shifted when I heard that. I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder I have so much anxiety in relationships, because I think I need to be perfect. So I'm dying the whole time being like, I have to be your ideal, and then you have to be my ideal. And is that even a real thing? It's like, no, just breathe. Maybe a successful relationship isn't one that is between 2 ideal people, and it isn't one even that never ends. It's not even that it's forever. Maybe a successful relationship is one where both people really want to learn how to love the other person better and keep teaching each other that. And it's just this lesson, like a really good, you're both, it's like how you say in a relationship, the thing that matters most is the want to. Maybe that's the want to, that I want to learn how to love you better. Would you like to speak now? Should I climb down off my pedestal? I'm just really fascinated by it. Do you have thoughts, sir?
You might be right.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding.
yeah, my wheels aren't spinning as quickly as I'd like. That could be. I don't think that is what. I don't think that's the magic formula for everybody. I think there are a lot of people. I think some of the best marriages are based on I want to make it work, and I'm not too worried about everything. I think there are a lot of couples that one of them's high strung and one of them's not, and they can look at each other and go, well, that's just the way he is. But what is, while I can trust that he's just that way, I can also trust that he's going to be a great partner for me for the rest of my life. And he may not do what I want him to do, or he may not tell me what I want him to tell me. But at the same time, he's always there, like water against the face of a dam. He's never not there. He's always available, always, and we don't always get, we don't always get what we want.
You can't always get what you want.
That's right.
But if you try sometimes, you just might find
you get what you need.
The level of enthusiasm here is really.
Well, yeah. For those of you that say that, oh, you and your daughter are a lot alike, and it's like, nah, not really. She's much more talented and outgoing than I am.
Oh, that's.
But anyway,
lovely.
So that it's interesting.
Self-deprecation. I wouldn't deprecate.
I don't. Well,
let me deprecate you. Why you look at yourself?
Take a quick look at this side-by-side video, and our listening audience, tell me who you think.
If you got lighting and makeup, baby, you might look good.
Yeah, that's right.
I officially want to put you in drag now. I haven't thought of that before, and now I've thought of it, and now it needs to happen. It needs to happen. It would be great.
Oh, yes, it would. Yep.
Okay, well, we keep this one short. I just want I want to hear. You said this really awesome line earlier that blew my mind, which was interdependent people don't care to be around independent people.
Oh, that's a total segue switch. We're like changing lanes completely.
Yeah. So what? You got sick of this lane. We already talked about this lane. We don't need to stay in this lane. I just wanted to.
Okay. So we're changing.
I just remember that line. I thought it was amazing, and we're moving forward. Just to roll with the punches.
Okay, I'm with you. Well, you started a book club, and the first book that you guys are doing is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
It's the only, I think it's the only book we're doing, but yeah.
Yeah, the only book. Well, maybe you won't do another one. Somehow I have a feeling you will. But anyway, in that, Covey talks about this maturity process that we go through, and we start out life being very dependent, and then we move to becoming very independent. And a lot of people, really feel like that's the pinnacle, independence. Right. I'm independent. Right. It's all about me. It's a dog eat dog world. I take care of myself. I make sure that my thing's good.
No one.
So you're very independent.
Right. Yeah.
And then, but he says there's another one, which is true, and that's interdependence. That's where you actually get the chance to have some synergy, where 1 + 1 can equal 3, because I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with who you are. Let's take the differences between the two and let's add the two together. And we should be able to produce more than either of us. Individually.
It requires so much humility, though, because you have to accept that you doing it by yourself is not the best. And for an independent person who reaches independent, you get so much I got so much of my identity from not needing anyone else. Yeah. That it took me a while to get to the interdependent and be like, oh man.
But there's this whole group of people that are wildly successful and or let's just say much more successful and much happier in everyday life. And they tend to be interdependent. Mm-hmm. They don't suffer the things we were talking about. They don't suffer from anxiety as much because they're like, I am who I am, but I want to get better all the time, but I want to be around people that are different than me. I want to be around people that make me smarter, people that make me think differently, and people that I can add my stuff into to do more, or they can add their stuff into mine to do more, so that we are all better. But that requires a little bit of give and take. But if you're not worried about it, if you don't have that anxiety, if you're not uptight about things, it's like, okay, I suck at that. How do you do that? And then there's no energy spent on your own weaknesses. You're like, that's really cool. How do you do that?
Win or learn. Yeah. You just keep rolling. That's what's interesting to me about the anxiety thing I was talking about earlier, is that in work and in friendships and in literally every part of my life, except romantic relationships, I am very interdependent. I am very oh yeah, you're right. I'm so bad at that. Next, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Would you say that's true?
I would say that's true. But do you tell me? Because this is
why I've been trying to figure out why that's different.
Why it is with your relationships?
Yeah, why that one is. Why am I not able to be interdependent and chill? Why can't I chill out?
I don't know. Maybe some kind of training or programming or something.
Maybe my parents screwed me up.
Probably. I don't know how many parents I went to and said, I don't know, what do you guys do? How do you get along with your kids? Yeah. But yeah, back to the topic though. I think that's a huge barrier to happiness and success, because independent people are so busy being independent. They communicate that message. I know that really bothers me, and maybe I'm being arrogant in thinking I am interdependent. But I hate working with people that are self-consumed and have that attitude that I come first.
And don't allow you to help them. You're not, because that's also part of it.
Right. Or if they
help in the pursuit of the shared goal.
Their expectation, there's nothing in it for the person that's helping them. There's I need this and I need you to give it to me. I need you to give me my way, whether I'm in Hoboken at a stoplight, which drives me crazy, and the light is green for me.
Yeah. Oh no, not this again.
I'm sorry. it happens all the time. And
No,
I get
go
it.
ahead,
I
go
get
ahead.
it when it's a mistake. I get it when you're walking along, you're talking to somebody
And then you're like,
and the flow's that way and you've kind of walked out, and especially in a really pedestrian friendly area like that, where
yeah.
it's like the score's a 97 out of 100 for pedestrian friendly. But then there are those that look up and they look at that light and they look at you.
Look at you. Oh my gosh, yeah,
Like,
I hate it.
you're gonna stop. And then
They're
they walk
"You're not gonna
right
run
straight
me over."
across on a red
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
And then you'll see that happen, and people honk at them, and then they're like, scowl at you.
Like, excuse me, it's my world.
I always just,
No, you're
I
right.
just sit there looking at them in amazement, like, you're really like that. But then, whether it's, I don't work with those people, or I don't know that I do. Probably some people I really like that do that.
I have a couple friends who definitely do that, and they're like,
but
I
in
don't drive, so
business,
I don't care.
I don't want to do business with them. I'm sorry. I'm not, it's not all about the money for me. And if you're going to call me every day and you're going to tell me what you want and you're going to tell me how you want it done, and you're not going to pay any attention to the fact that I have a package of responsibilities that I have to live with, and that you are a piece of that, but you're not all of that, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to deal with this. I'm your most important customer right now, and you need to do what I want you to do. You need to spend the money I want you to spend. I want you. That's the negative thing about real estate. If I can go on a real estate rant for just a second, I won't do it very long. I know all our views.
No. Keep going. Go on.
They're sorry. Now I'm not wanting to do it. Never mind. Let's just move on. So anyway, it's just frustrating. It's hard because you go so deep into, in a real estate relationship.
Yes.
Your house is up for sale and you have the carrying cost responsibility of that home, but your broker pays for everything. Your broker's doing the listings, he's paying for the photos, the video, the Matterport, the drone, the marketing materials, the mailings that you're sending out. So next thing you know, you're thrown anyway. And then that client's like, you need to do more for me. And then they're like, I don't think I want to sell my house anymore because I'm just not going to get what I want out of it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. When they, gotcha.
And it's very dismissive.
They don't care.
Sorry.
Yeah, that definitely happened. I don't know why it should bother me more. Probably.
It doesn't bother me if I agreed and we all did it. We're all doing our best and the market just went south. I don't want them to get hurt. I don't like it when they're like, they get what they want or they get close to what they want. It's well within what you talked about when you started. I think this is what your expectations might be. I think this is what might happen. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And then you meet those expectations and they're like, no. I really want more. I want more. I don't want to do it. And you're like, oh, I wish I would have known that.
Our expectations were very mismatched. Bouncing back, actually, I think the independent to interdependent thing, I was just listening to you talk about it, and I was like, if I had never pursued that, how would I, like, what piece of advice would I give to somebody to become that? Like, what happened to me that made me able to be independent and able to roll with things and all of that? And I think it's shifting the focus from being the best person, like the best person I can be. Truly, I thought that was a really good thing to do. But the problem with that is that I'm always trying to prove I'm the best person I can be versus trying to get to the best end I can with whoever is willing to be on my team. So if you're interdependent, it's like we're trying to overcome this obstacle and get to this end goal together. So if I screw up, all right, I screwed up. Let's fix it. And if you screw up, all right, you screwed up, whatever. And then we were working together towards the goal. It's not about who's doing a better job to get there. It's about focusing on the goal and staying united in pursuit of that. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be, and neither does the other person, because it's about the goal, not yourself. Well, so I think that's a key mentality difference. Do you agree? What do you think?
I do. I think that's right. But I don't think when we say I want to talk about the goal, because generally speaking, life's a journey.
Yes.
It's filled with lots of goals, one after the next one. So it's like, all right, today, let's see if we can make it to that point. And even on the way to that point, you're like, hey, we wanted to go to that point, but we've run into this problem. Maybe we need to change. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're still on this. What you have committed
We're
to is you've
18.
committed to the journey as a group, or
Yes.
it's like you and I on what we're doing. And
it's collaborative instead of competitive. It's saying it's
Exactly.
creative instead of competitive. I mean, really the only way to be creative is like building on each other and building up.
It's creative and collaborative.
Yes.
Instead of being competitive. And unless the competitive thing is just plain fun, like we're running to that
part
line.
of it.
Let's see who can.
It's part of the collaboration. Who can do this the most?
Let's see who can get there faster. Let's see who can do this. Or
to
we won't go into we have a weekly meeting, and we have a thing that whoever does
it's not working very well.
It's not working very.
That was really playing, but yeah.
But it's still kind of fun. At the end of the week, we have our weekly meeting, and whoever did the best job gets this little banner thing.
This
that we
giant banner behind us on Zoom that says, "I am better than all of you."
I love it.
Yeah, so we just but there are little competitive things like that. But it's really, it's like wrestling. I love wrestling. I don't watch it a lot. I just love the concept of the sport, and I loved going through high school with a lot of guys that were friends of mine that were wrestlers, and watching them. One would beat the other one, and then they'd stop and they'd redo it and say, "Here's how I beat you. When you did this, then I was able to do this, and I won. So let's try it again. And this time, don't put your head this way. This time, don't put your leg this way. This time, do this instead, and see if that stops it." And the wrestling team all make each other better.
Yes.
Like by competing with each other and then helping them see, well, I pinned you because you did this. Yeah. It's like, what happened right there? How'd you get me rolled over like that? It's like, well,
and that's competitive under collaborative. I mean, the end goal is still, we are a team.
They're competitive as a team, and they're collaborative.
Yeah.
I love that. Well
Me
said.
too.
That was a Morganism.
Thank you.
That has speechisms when you want to.
I like that because it sounds like organism. Okay. Well, I feel like that's good. Thank you for joining us on What the Friday. Like, follow, friends, subscribe. Please comment. We love comments. We love talking to the comments. And shake and bake.
Shake and bake.